Curious about what's been going on in our first 2 months of homeschooling? Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, doctor lawyer turned homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 8, 4, and 3. They are all fall babies, so they're all switching up and I'll probably stumble over those ages every now and then. But I'm so excited that they're getting bigger and we are almost out of diapers entirely, even nighttime ones. I'm so excited. Anyway, what was I gonna say? This is mom brain. Oh, homeschool update. This is our first homeschool update. I've never done one. Last year, mostly because I didn't know what I was doing and I felt like there was nothing really to update besides we're still afloat. It's still going okay. We're all still here and alive. This year, I definitely embraced all my mistakes of last year. I went into it with much more of an unschooling attitude because I wanted to really find our feet at the beginning. And honestly, it went so well that I think I'm gonna do this every year because I think we are all evolving, all the players in this game. Each of my kids are getting older, as I mentioned, so every year they're slightly different, right? They're different people. There is room for growth. We are not the same person that we were when we were 4, as we were when we were 6, as we were when we were 8, etc. So I liked falling into this school year with a real month of kind of unschooling. I did not follow a set schedule. I didn't have a checklist for every day. I know that I have it all organized in my Lime Life planner, but I didn't really follow it. As I had said, even when I made that schedule, it was more just to sort of see how long the curriculum would take in a year, not so much a directive per day. And so when we started, we had a full-on orientation week, which was so much fun, you guys. Instead of doing one whole day of traditions, I just decided to do homeschool orientation, and that's our tradition. And every year we'll just sort of do what strikes our fancy. Because for a very type A person, I've realized that I do much better when we are a little bit more unstructured for homeschooling. And so we did fun things like we went to a train park where there's an old caboose set up. We went to have ice cream. We had like special treats at dessert at home for that week. We played more games. We played a game every single day of orientation week to try out some new games. So we just did a variety of fun things. I wrote a letter to each of them in their mommy and me journals that we share to just tell them how I felt about them for this year, where they are in their life right now. And it was just really fun and easy, and we feathered in maybe 1 or 2 things of curriculum every day. Like I showed them what their new reading curriculums would be. We started a new read aloud, some new math books, and it was just really low-key and easy. I would say that we did very little schoolwork in that first week, and we mainly had fun, and we got in the habit of putting our materials away, of pulling them out. I introduced their morning binders, little things like that. So it was really low-key and easy, and it was a really, really fun week. I really recommend having a homeschool orientation week for your kids if you haven't tried that. I definitely will be doing it every year. For the next 3 weeks, we followed a Brave Writer lifestyle kind of concept from Julie Bogart, and that was basically to feather in our curriculum. So I have a wide variety of curriculum still. I like the variety. I like to allow my children some choice in the matter. So we just feathered in like a new curricula every day. So a different type of math workbook, a different type of reading tool, a different type of game, a different type of manipulative, and just little by little. So we didn't start off going full speed ahead with an entire day's worth of curricula starting off the bat. And we feathered in slowly, slowly, slowly as I felt they were ready throughout, I would say, the next 3 weeks after orientation. Still no set regular pattern. And by the end of that month, we had already started our like low-key co-op type classes, our clubs, our meetings, our fun play days. And so we had a much better idea of how our schedule would work. I had a much better idea of what I liked, when we liked to take walks, when we liked to do nature study, how it would best fall into our schedule. So feathering in really allowed me the opportunity to observe our interaction with our materials and with our schedule. And I got a much better idea of how I could allot and spread out our subjects over the course of the week, as well as our extracurricular activities, where our energy levels would flag, when our moods were the best for one particular subject or another. So I cannot recommend that highly enough to you. Take 2 to 4 weeks and just figure out how your days are flowing. Figure out what makes some days better than others. When are your kids most receptive to, let's say, your science experiments or your history read alouds? When does their energy tend to flag? When do they like being together? When can they cooperate? When can they not? I mean, we're still working on it, obviously, and we still have very bad days and very good days, but it really, really helped to just take it easy and see how we actually related to our world. How do we like the curricula? When do we like the curricula? When do we like to go outside? When do we like to stay in? When do we like to be together? When do we like to be apart? Allowing it to all flow naturally instead of following a rigid schedule at the beginning was really, really, really helpful. So that would be my first takeaway from this update is just, I'm always going to do this. I am always going to unschool for the first month just to kind of follow our own leanings and inclinations and honest personalities. One of the other things we did in that first month was to experiment with incorporating Waldorf into our homeschool. I am not particularly Waldorfian, but I really gained a lot from learning about their emphasis on daily rhythm. Part of the reason I sort of unschooled that month was to figure out what our daily rhythm was. I don't really believe any one set rhythm will work for every family. I think it's very dependent upon the ages of your children and their temperaments as well as your own, and your environment, whether you live in the South or the North, what the weather is, etc. One thing I did do though was I incorporated our timer method with the Waldorf shifting of activities from the head, hands, heart. So I'll get more into how I incorporated the Waldorf shifting rhythms into our schedule in another video, but just briefly, basically we would switch from like a head activity, so a more academic based activity, to a more hands-on or crafty activity, and then to a more body based activity where we would go outside or do a walk or a PE kind of activity, and a hands activity where we would do crafts and something with their hands. And I'll talk more about how I get through all our curricula while still incorporating this shifting sort of rhythmic cycle. Another thing that we've been really enjoying this year is just continuing our system of work boxes. So the kids have those plastic cart drawers and they have different subjects in each of them. So one drawer will be for reading, one for spelling, one for writing, one for math, science, geography, and so on down the line. And I keep a variety of curricula in each box. I don't keep just the activities for the day because that's honestly too much work for me and it doesn't really suit our style of homeschooling. I like to have a set idea of what topic we're going to do that day and then giving the children a choice of what they choose out of the drawer. So wherever we get to in whichever notebook is really up to them. And what I like to do is to encourage them to pick something that I might want them to pick. I will shift the other materials down to the bottom of the drawer so that they naturally will kind of look just at the top few and pick something from there. But just in conclusion, I've been really, really happy with homeschooling this year. I really cut back on a lot of our outside activities. I kept our favorites from last year. I think our year of exploration last year of hitting everything was really helpful because we learned what we really like to do and we're doing those this year. And what we didn't appreciate so much, we have kind of eliminated from our schedule. And I think more than anything, my relaxed attitude, my more lackadaisical, easygoing attitude has brought more joy to our homeschool. It's nothing about the kids, really. My good humor affects their day so much. When I project humor and positivity and happiness at being with them, they reflect that as well. They are my mirror as much as I am theirs. So I try to model my best behavior. I'm certainly not perfect. I still freak out. I still have mommy meltdowns, but they are much more infrequent this year. And for that, I am very grateful and also proud of myself because I am growing and I think taking it all a lot easier, stepping back from my planner has really helped. Speaking of that, I have really been enjoying my method of planning this year. I talked about it in my day designer video during the Planning Palooza, and I just record what we do every day. I record our schedule, I record when we go out of the house, I record our read alouds, our morning basket, all the workbook pages or readers that we do, videos that we watch. And honestly, if you start doing that, you guys, you realize that you get through so much. You learn so much and do so much with your children, whether or not you have checked off everything on your list. I think the checklist system sometimes makes you forget other little moments of learning. Now I write down when my kid peels carrots with me. I'm like, life skill, we peeled carrots. And it makes me feel so accomplished and fulfilled when I look over what we've done for the week. So I'm really enjoying homeschooling this year, and it's just been wonderful to see how we've all grown together, and we're just having a much better time of it. So I wish you all the same success. Step back from your planner a little bit, let it go, and have a good attitude, and hopefully your kids will mirror that back to you. So, if you have any questions, if you have any tips on what has been working for you this year, I would love to hear about your updates about what you guys are doing and what you have found in your evolution as a homeschool mom. So thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I wish you the very best day.